Since the new Dragon Ball Super Moro anime is in production, is it possible to get Moro contents in the future for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? We're going to go ahead and talk about that, as well as predict and speculate the actual content that may end up in the game. So without further ado, please make sure to drop a like, turn on post notifications, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll greatly appreciate it, and let's jump straight into it. So before we get to the actual speculatory side of things, do you guys remember that one interview that IGN did with the producer of Sparking Zero, Jun Furutani? It was a big discussion before the release of the game itself. A lot of people were wondering if there were going to be any manga contents, or more specifically manga characters, in the actual game. So this was the question. I know it's thinking maybe too far ahead, but I just want to get your thoughts on it. There are a lot of cool characters in the Dragon Ball Super manga right now that I think a lot of fans would love to see, such as Granola and Moro. Are those characters that are on your radar, or would you like to touch upon characters in the manga that haven't gotten to appear in the anime yet? This is Jun Furutani's response. At this point, the short answer is extremely difficult for him to talk about due to various situations. So as we all know, just take a look at the history of all of Dragon Ball gaming. They don't adapt manga content over to the video games, hence why you're not seeing Granola, Moro, Ultra Ego Vegeta, or even Frieza Black. That's just how it's always been, right? We do, however, get the anime content in the video games. So for example, Dragon Ball Daima, right? We got Super Saiyan 4 mini adult Goku, as well as Super Saiyan 3 mini and adult Vegeta in a lot of the ongoing Dragon Ball games currently, such as Xenoverse 2, Sparking Zero, and even the mobile games, Dokkan Battle. I think they're about to get those characters for the 11th anniversary. Legends received a few. So going over here to this tweet, massive shoutouts to Shonen Games for sharing. We just have some more insights about the manga and anime licenses for anime video games. Now, this is more about the Naruto franchise / IP, but it's most likely the same concept or idea for any other anime game out there, such as Dragon Ball. So this is what the tweet says. Here's what Hiroshi Matsuyama, president of CyberConnect 2, said about using manga and anime licensing. Hopefully this sheds some light on the Sparking Zero discussion, because again, at the time, a lot of people were talking about manga content, right? Naruto and any IP will have 2 licenses for video games. The story, which is referring to the manga, and the anime. The story license is the rights to use the manga's story. Even though Kishimoto creates the manga, Shueisha will be the company to obtain the license to create something based on the Naruto manga. So in Dragon Ball's case, we all know Akira Toriyama created Dragon Ball and the manga. However, the developers / publishers would need the license from Shueisha, right? They're like the head honchos. If a developer really wanted to include manga content in their video game, let's just talk about Sparking Zero for an example, that means they would need extremely special permission from Shueisha themselves, which again, usually doesn't happen, at least in regards to the manga content. So let's say Granola arc, right? If they wanted to throw that into Sparking Zero before the anime is even in production, that means they would need to hire a voice actor to play Granola and all the other characters in that arc that are new characters, which they usually do that stuff for the anime itself, and then it trickles down the tree, if you will, to the video games. So they always have to do the anime first, hire all the voice actors, get the characters right, whatever it may be, and then we'll see all that later. So if you want to see Frieza Black, Ultra Ego Vegeta, Granola in Sparking Zero, it ain't going to happen until we get the actual anime. Now, I know some of you guys might say, well, what about the characters who already have voice actors and that are already in anime, like Vegeta, for example? How come they're not bringing in Ultra Ego Vegeta? Well, again, that's still part of the manga currently, and they would need extremely special permission from Shueisha to even include Ultra Ego Vegeta in Sparking Zero, which I keep on reiterating, usually never happens unless the anime is out. Speaking of the anime, we do have some info about the anime license. To use the anime license, the following companies must be approached Shueisha, TV Tokyo, or Studio Pierrot. Again, this is talking about Naruto, but in Dragon Ball's case, it will be Shueisha, Fuji TV, and Toei Animation. You need an anime license to make other merchandises such as figures, trading cards, video games, and other memorabilia. They're a lot more strict with the story license, also known as the manga license, compared to the anime license. Hence why we do see a lot of the anime content in the video games. As I mentioned before with Dragon Ball Daima, as soon as that ended, Dragon Ball Kakarot, Xenoverse 2, Sparking Zero, Dokkan Battle, and Legends received a lot of the characters. It's just rules, I guess, that they have to follow. Shueisha, for some reason, is a lot more strict with the manga, which it is what it is. They have their reasons. The reason why I wanted to bring this up first is because we recently got the confirmation of Dragon Ball Super, the Galactic Patrol Saga, also known as the Moro arc. So this is no longer behind the manga exclusive content category anymore. After the anime premieres, after every single episode airs, or even now, technically, since it's in production, in the future, it's going to be under the anime license instead of the manga license. So it's going to be in a lot of the Dragon Ball video games, as I explained before. I do believe we'll be getting Moro content in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, just because the game came out in late 2024, October, right? And I think it's been confirmed the Moro saga over here is going to be premiering late 2027. So by then, Sparking Zero would only be 3 years old, and taking a look at the history of Dragon Ball gaming, they support Dragon Ball games for way longer. Xenoverse 2, it's currently a decade old, and we're still getting DLC. DBZ Kakarot, that game came out in 2020, so 6 years ago, and we just recently got the Daima DLC. What else? Fighters, even though they kind of concluded all of that with the season pass, they are bringing in Super Saiyan 4 adult Goku from Daima over into Fighters. It just makes sense to me, man. After the Moro saga ends, whatever ongoing Dragon Ball game is going on at the time will most likely get Moro content in all those games. But again, going back to Sparking Zero, I think that's going to be 100%, because after the Moro saga ends in 2028 or however long it goes on for, they will still be providing content for Sparking Zero itself, since it's only going to be, what, around 3 or 4 years old when the Moro saga ends. So that's very cool stuff, if you ask me. And we all know it's going to go absolutely crazy, just because it's Sparking Zero at the end of the day, and they throw in all the transformations. Take a look at the season pass for Sparking Zero. DLC 1, we got all of Gohan's and Piccolo's transformations, Gamma 1, 2, Cell Max. Giant characters are playable, so I feel like we could even see the giant Moro fused with Planet Earth. That might be slightly hard to do, just because he's fused with the ground. I don't know how they'll do all of that, but it's definitely possible, since it technically classifies as a giant character, you know what I mean? But here are all the Moro forms. I kind of talked a little bit about this in yesterday's video, the Xenoverse 2 Moro DLC speculation. Now, that one is a bit of a different story, because Future Saga Chapter 4, that's going to happen in the next several months. But it very well could conclude Xenoverse 2. We don't know if there's going to be any more DLC beyond that. And plus, with the recent announcement of Project Age 1000, we don't know if that's going to be Xenoverse 3. So if it is Xenoverse 3, then expect Moro content in that game and not in Xenoverse 2, because why would you put content in a prequel when the sequel is already out? You know what I mean? So back to Moro over here. It's been 10 minutes, and we're finally getting to the Moro Sparking Zero DLC speculation. So I would say these are his 3 main forms. Now, don't let his old appearance fool you. The one on the far left is going to be his base form. I know he looks extremely old and ancient, but he knows about cool techniques such as absorption, fusion, and I think spirit energy as well. Then the form in the center That's going to be his rejuvenated state. I believe he gathered the 7 Dragon Balls and then made the wish to become younger and youthful. I like to call him Moro Prime, and his design overall is just top tier stuff. The form on the right is his 3rd evolution. He absorbed his comrade OG73. That's right, his appearance changes drastically. I mean, the first two pretty similar because that's how he normally looks like, but then he absorbed his comrade and then got that very cool aesthetic going on. I know it's pretty much almost the same, but some differences. Then bottom left corner, this is where he wields the Ultra Instinct power boost because he absorbed an angel. His name is Miris, and he goes toe-to-toe against Ultra Instinct Goku. Obviously does not prevail at the end of the day. This is kind of like his last resort technique where he fuses or merges himself with the surface of the planet and becomes gargantuan. This is why earlier I said it would be cool to get a giant playable version of this character. Since it is Sparking Zero, I could see it happening. And it's also not too far-fetched to think about because 5 transformations does seem like a lot, but you have to remember Frieza in the game currently, I'm talking about the Z Frieza, has 5 forms as well. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and full power. So they could definitely include all 5 of these forms for Moro. Now, going over to Goku real quick, pretty straightforward. We have to see an updated Galactic Patrol version of this character. Maybe not, well, yeah, updated will be the correct terminology because just slap over a new preset. You know what I mean? Give him the Galactic Patrol Gi with a couple of new super attacks, maybe blast ones, whatever it may be. And Goku also has a giant form, so y'all already know I want to see this in Sparking Zero as well. I like to call this the Susanoo Ultra Instinct because, you know, you can see his body right there, top right. Go ahead and zoom up a little bit. He's in there, right? Something similar to the Susanoo from Naruto, how they stay kind of in the dome part of the head. Yeah, he's literally right there chilling, and then the celestial being overpowering the giant Moro, the merge edition with the planet. So if Goku were to transform into this giant celestial Susanoo transformation, I guess it would have to be under the Galactic Gi presets. I mean, it would be cool to get that transformation if you have any other Gi equipped while playing as UI Goku, which very well could be the case because the outfits currently in the game, they don't necessarily dictate what transformation you transform into, or maybe because Daima Goku, right? He has 2 different outfits and you can transform into Super Saiyan with one of them. So yeah, I guess that would make the most sense. If you want to transform into Giant Susanoo Goku, then you would have to play as the Galactic Gi presets. Now, Vegeta, on the other hand, nothing too fancy with this character. You know, the Galactic armor and the Yardrat outfit. For the people who don't know, yes, he does go over to planet Yardrat and learns some of that spirit energy, right? I don't think he learns instant transmission, which I'm happy about, because if he did, then he's basically just another Goku. You know what I mean? They need to have their own separate techniques that are exclusive to them. Now, no, their personalities and characters are extremely different, but yeah, instant transmission, I'm glad that's a Goku thing. But he does have some things that Goku doesn't necessarily know about. So he can manipulate spirit energy slightly. He made Moro revert back to a weaker state of himself. Goku can't do that. So shoutouts to Vegeta. Same concepts, add the Yardrat uniform or Galactic armor and just include some additional supers or ultimates like the spirit stuff I just spoke about. Now, since they do add a bit more characters in Sparking Zero, I wouldn't be surprised if they throw in Miris. That's the angel that Moro absorbed to get that Ultra Instinct power boost, as well as OG73. I feel like these 2 characters could make it in. Obviously, the big 3 for the saga is Moro, Goku, and Vegeta, but it would be nice to get some of these other side characters, if you will. Not necessarily side characters, they do have a big story within the saga. Now, all the other cast characters, I guess, throw in the Galactic Gi and throw in additional supers under this presets, because why not? Or maybe you don't even have to throw in super attacks, just throw in the outfits, which is basically the same, except the symbol is slightly different. They are amping their video game because with the recent announcements of the upcoming DLC pack, it seems like they're going to be throwing in a lot more outfits, additional supers, stages, game modes. So by the time they do start to work on the Moro DLC pack, they might have a good formula to follow and just throw in everything at once instead of dividing things up. You know what I mean? So we could potentially be getting all of these outfits and characters. Characters, as I've said many times before, they always do well in that department. Again, just take a look at the DLCs. That's what they focus on, as well as the additional new supers and ultimates. But costumes, stages. I don't know what stage or planet they fight on. It does look something similar to Planet Namek with the green sky, greenish grass, like blue greenish grass, you know what I mean? This very well could be Planet Namek. I haven't necessarily read the entire saga of Moro. I've only know some bits and pieces of it. So yeah, this is it for today's video. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the Moro saga being in Sparking Zero. Comment down below what would you guys like to see. Just to recap, Moro, Miris, and OG73 for the new characters, and updated presets for Goku and Vegeta, and then outfits for the rest of the cast characters. Pretty straightforward. This is it for today's video. Thank you guys for the immense support. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.